Welcome back, guys, to another video. Several things to talk about Tesla with some battery deals coming up and also Tesla's supercharger network getting ramped up as well. We have a ton of things to talk about with 2020 ending and 2021 just beginning. With 2020, it's been a pretty good year for Tesla. A lot of really incredible stuff came out. Despite this whole pandemic situation, Tesla was one of the few luxury car manufacturers that actually did pretty well. And they actually broke several records compared to 2019. 2021 will become an even bigger year with so many deals being signed at the end of 2020, and a lot of these will go in effect next year. So if you guys are thinking about getting some Tesla shares, now may be the time. First things first, let's talk about some battery deals they're doing and how Tesla is trying to ramp up battery cell production. They know next year, in the next 5 years, a lot of electric car companies will be coming out with their own models. Even the fossil fuel companies, Mercedes-Benz, Ford, General Motors, will be coming out with several of their own fully electric vehicle models. But the main question is, where will all of these companies get their lithium-ion battery cells? Even with Tesla at this current moment producing the most amount of electric vehicles, they're actually still struggling to get a lot of battery cells. That's the main issue. And Tesla knows this, and they want to be the first people to secure a good supply. They signed an agreement, it's 5 years, with China's Yahua Industrial Group. On Tuesday, this deal is already signed, and it will provide battery-grade lithium to Tesla for the next 5 years. Now, this lithium will probably be used for the Shanghai Gigafactory. It's like really close. And Yahua is based in the southwest China area, so it's not really that far away from the Shanghai Gigafactory. No one really knows how big this deal is, but if you check out the filing to the Shenzhen Stock Exchange, the value is roughly at $630 to $900 million over the course of 5 years. Now, this is big, and we all know that lithium is a massive key ingredient in EV batteries. It's going to be the next hot thing because at this current moment, a lot of car manufacturers like Ford Motors, they acknowledge that Tesla is playing it smart, opening up battery facilities, and Ford wants to open a battery facility as well because you can't really rely on third-party companies. Their production levels are way too low and their quality is kind of questionable, and some have better quality than others. So when asked about if Ford will be making their own battery facility, the Ford CEO said no, and there are no plans at this current moment, but they will really love to. This is a big warning sign for me because a lot of car manufacturers, especially the fossil fuel guys, they're not really making the battery facilities. They're trying to rely on the third-party makers, but those guys don't make as many battery cells as Tesla. And you have Mercedes-Benz, BMW, General Motors, they focusing way too much attention on the battery cars themselves, and they don't really focus on the lithium-ion battery, the producers, where they could get the source. And Tesla's pretty smart. They also signed a massive deal with LG Chem, telling them to double their production in the next few years because they're desperately needing a lot of these battery cells to supply the Shanghai Gigafactory, which the Shanghai Gigafactory will be producing roughly 40% of Tesla vehicles in the next 5 years. Yeah, you heard that right. Because China has over 1 billion people, there's a huge appetite for electric vehicles, and also there's a pretty hefty amount of people in the upper class, and they could easily afford a Tesla. On top of that, the Chinese government is getting really strict on fossil fuel cars, and even in some cities, straight up banning them in the next few years. So obviously though, if you live in China, your best investment is probably an electric vehicle in the next few years instead of buying a fossil fuel car. This is what's fueling this massive electric vehicle push. And they also got LG Chem on the spot. Panasonic is also working with Tesla to get more lithium-ion battery cells and also create a prototype 4680 production line. That's big, and that production line will be coming in the next few years. So I feel like Tesla is really playing the long game here. They're not really messing around and really trying to get as much lithium as possible. They also are striking a deal with the Indonesian government to get a gigafactory going over there. And Indonesia is actually pretty happy about this. They also sit on the largest nickel reserve in the world, and it's pretty concentrated. And they've been advertising about this. So Tesla's like, you know what? I'm gonna open a factory over there. And their government is actually pretty pleased about that, since it will create a lot of high-end jobs in that location. And with nickel, you could really make the lithium-ion batteries more dense. So you start to see this. They have this whole entire chain of suppliers and production facilities around the globe. You got the Berlin Gigafactory, which will be making battery cells. You also have the Nevada Gigafactory that's also making battery cells. You have China's Yahua Industrial Group, which is supplying Tesla with a ton of lithium-ion batteries. You also have Panasonic and LG Chem supplying battery cells and production lines for the car manufacturer. So there's a lot of things going on with Tesla, and I feel like they're really playing the long game here. Last but not least, let's talk about charging stations. There's a ton of charging stations at this current moment. You got several brands here in the US, for example, ChargePoint. You got Blink Charging, you got EV Box, etc. And overseas, you got several other brands. There was a tweet from Marcus Brownlee saying, why don't more electric vehicle makers take up Tesla on their offer and use the Tesla supercharging network? And Musk actually replied back saying that it's pretty low key, but the superchargers are being made accessible to other electric vehicles. The moment Musk said this, there was a lot of outcry and there was a lot of applause for this. Some people didn't like it because a lot of other car brands will be getting to the Tesla superchargers. And a lot of people, the reason why they buy a Tesla is of this like exclusive club. Like this supercharger network station, this parking lot is for Tesla vehicles only. For anyone else, get out. But some people seem to like it because it will improve sales and make more money for Tesla. Tesla at this current moment has one of the most advanced supercharger networks in the world. For example, here in the US, almost every single major highway and city has multiple Tesla superchargers. And if you also check out this tweet from Ray for Tesla, you clearly see Tesla already has a factory in a leased building, which is pretty funny. It's 6 kilometers away from the Gigafactory Shanghai, and they will be producing only the supercharger V3s. Yes, Tesla made a dedicated factory in China that makes 10,000 supercharger stalls per year. That's insane. I've never seen production like this before, and we have a lot of Chinese companies in China that hasn't really, ramped up production for their own supercharging network. So if Tesla starts making a ton of these superchargers around China, around the US, Europe, for example, we could be seeing Tesla striking massive deals with other car companies to be like, hey, you pay us a yearly fee or monthly fee, and we'll allow your cars to be used in our superchargers. This essentially makes Tesla an electric charging station stock as well. You have Volkswagen, you have BMW, Mercedes. They don't really have advanced supercharging network. In fact, they don't have any. So they may have to rely on third-party companies. Volkswagen, for example, are already striking massive deals with some charging stocks in the US. So we could be seeing Mercedes-Benz, European brands, even American brands striking massive deals with Tesla so their cars can be used in the supercharger facilities. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment below. More Tesla news to come, so definitely subscribe.